Hello there guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be looking at some building tips for The Sims 4. So this video is going to be for beginners, people who want to start doing some building, want to make their buildings look a little bit better, who don't really know where to start. This is going to help you. This is going to be very tip based. We're going to have some cheats and stuff that are going to help you be able to make more use of your buildings and stuff like that. So if we get straight into it, one of the most important things we're going to be using is actually the cheat command thing slip at the top. So in order to activate this, you need to press Control, Shift and C, and this is going to bring up this white bar here. Now this is going to be important. The first thing I do when I come into any build is type in this code. So this is bb.moveobjects on, like that. And I'm going to press that in, and this is going to mean that I'm going to be able to move my objects wherever I want. So at the moment they are kind of fixed to a fixed position, but once you have this, you can move them into things. So it can mesh there, you can just put that there. The game at the moment prevents you from doing this, but if you have this cheat activated, it actually allows you to move this anywhere you want it to be, anything at all. You can just put them in really silly places, but it's not for that really. It's just for the fact that you can move objects around, and you can put your objects, for example, if we wanted to move things onto a desk, or we thought, oh, okay, I'll have this very close to the desk, we can mesh it in. So it doesn't have to have the spacing apart that it usually would have, and that is really good as well. It's very good for decorating your house. It's also for building, and you can also use it to move the windows on a different thing, so we can have it halfway through. I mean, you don't have to do that, but you could do that if you wanted to. So that is the BB Move Objects. Like I said, this is something that I activate every time I come into the game. It's very, very useful. Something that I always do when I'm playing. And something that goes hand in hand with this is actually the free movement cheat, which you've just seen me use. So usually the objects would move towards the grid again, like this. It moves around very straightforward on this grid. If you actually hold Alt while moving an object, you can move it freely wherever you want to put it. You can just move it there, or you can move it anywhere you want. This works really well for plants. So if we just go into planting objects, I love to landscape, and I think that something really important for landscaping is layering. So we can just layer the plants down like this, which makes it look more full, very nice, more of a full garden basically. Because they don't have to be a certain amount of space apart. So using Alt actually helps you to create bushes and more of a wild look, which is really nice. I really like using this. This is probably my staple. I don't think I could do any build without using Alt as well. And the BB Move Objects, like I said, that is just a very simple tip for you guys to try out. Another tip I actually really like to use for clutter items. So this is going to be the moving up and down of the items. So if, for example, I wanted to put I don't know, some plants or something on here, there's certain things they won't sit on top like this. Obviously that's not going to sit on top of that because it's too big, or something like this as well. So if you wanted a plant like this on this table, the first thing we can actually do is actually make it bigger or smaller. So to make it bigger or smaller, you're going to use your bracket keys on your keyboard. So the left one makes it smaller, and the right one makes it big, and you can make it as big as you want. You can make it stupidly big if you really wanted to, or you can make it as small as you want as well. So you can have it like this. And then if we want it on the table, we can also use the cheat to move it up and down. So this is going to move it free again from the grid. So what we're going to press is 0 to move it down, which we cannot move below the floor. So it has to be above the floor. So for this we're going to use 9 to move it upwards, and we're just going to see where it kind of sits nicely. And we're going to move it like that. So obviously the shadowing is still the same as it would have been, just because the object has been changed in size, but you get the idea. You can do this with anything. You can do this with pictures. So if I want this picture to be smaller and I want to move it like up here, you can move it like that. Or if I want to move it to the grid, I can move it up and down with the 0 and 9, which is really useful as well. I find this very useful for placing things like clutter that aren't going to always fit on like the table, or I want to make something small and put it on the table as well. Like if this is too big, I can make it as small as I want to make it, so that it kind of like sits better on the table, which is really cool. I like to use that a lot as well for my cluttered builds. Another really good code, actually a couple of codes that we can use to actually get lots more objects. I believe there's over 1,000 objects, I think, in the menu if you think you've got all the packs and stuff. So there's going to be 2 codes that we're going to put in. The first of them is going to be bb show hidden objects, and this is going to bring up some of the like debug objects from the world. This is where the cars are. So if you guys have noticed, the cars that are on my on the drive of this build, those are in this debug menu, and this is going to allow you to show these up so you can place them. There's also another one that not too many people know about, and that is actually bb show live edit objects. So this one is going to show up some of like the objects that are already in the world again, and this is going to help with like our buildings again, because it's going to bring up things that we wouldn't usually be able to see. So if you guys have base game and stuff, you do actually get a lot more things, a lot more clutter items, things that you haven't seen before. So I'm going to be looking for the plants. Now these are all the cars and the plants and stuff. We get like some really cute little hanging plants with the base game, this sort of thing, and also like these boxes with like the lilies in. I really like these. These are from the debug menu as well. I just think that's really interesting, because if you guys are struggling, especially if you're using, base game doesn't have as many items as like the other packs do, you actually get a lot more things. So that like tree and stuff is from there. What else is there? There's like walls and things like that. So these can actually fit like on the edge of the lot as well, which is really good, because the fencing that you usually get, it usually stays like so like 1 grid space away from the edge of the lot, and you can't make it any closer. But with this, you can like sort of make a wall that's right on the edge of the lot really, and it actually looks a lot better in my opinion. You can also like place things kind of like overlapping onto, like if you want it on the path like there, or like place that like overlapping with using alt and using the debug like tools and stuff like that. And then we've got all these cars to choose from. So if you guys are looking for like a car, these are a lot better than scaling up the toy cars, which a lot of people do. The debug cars are actually a lot more detailed, because they are actually used in the world itself. You can like see them sometimes on this road, like driving around. These are what they are based on. So those are the debug cars. There's loads of stuff, guys. If you want to like go through all this, we've got food and everything, and drinks. You can like place any of this stuff down. This is also where I get my fishing holes from. So I made a video that was talking about how to make your own sort of lake, and in here they have like the fishing holes that spawn fish, so you could have like a little lake if you wanted to, and it would spawn fish in that lake. Well, it will be a swimming pool, and it will spawn fish there, so that is really interesting too. If you want to have like a fishing spot on your lot, you can use that. And there's also things like if we go to island living, I know that I've used this before, but you can get like a waterfall. So if we go onto the island living sort of like tag and scroll down, there's going to be like this is a waterfall, so we can use that sort of items, and when it's in game it will be animated, which is really interesting. So we can place that wherever we want to, and obviously like when we're in game you can see it like animating down. So there's a few objects like this in the menu, and obviously I suggest you guys go and check it out if you want to have a look at the full amounts of items, because there is just tons of stuff. Like this just really changed my game. I love these like things that wrap up the columns, like these little things with flowers on. I think they're really cute. So there's loads that you can explore with, and I just love going through the debug menu and like finding different things that I haven't seen before. I think that's really interesting too. Also, if you want to change our flooring, we want to make it look a little bit different to how it usually looks, there's a couple of things we can actually do here. So if I choose one that is like a log, sort of like wooden flooring, and just put it down there, that's how it usually looks. So that is the floor. and we can actually rotate it round with a little cheat command. So that's actually going to be the arrows, the arrow keys. We can move it around with these here, so we can actually have like two different directions of flooring. This works with all of like the flooring, to be honest. I can show you on anything, like you can move it around to whatever way you want it to be, which is really cool. You can change anything up that you want. Like this is going to change all the tiles. It's not going to change things like this too drastically, but I just thought it was a really interesting little thing that I've seen, where you can create like a different look with your flooring, because you can rotate how it looks around, and you can create more unique flooring. So like if I do that and I do like, I don't know, like this, you can see that it's different, and I thought that was really interesting. Another thing you can do is actually rotate the floor. So if we do Control and F, it's going to turn it into a little triangle, so we can actually like do whatever we want with it. Like we can make little shapes with it. It just helps with finishing off little areas of flooring that we don't want like a whole square for, and we can make like half like a tile. That's really, really interesting to know too. Another thing that has actually made a really big difference for me, and I didn't actually really know this until I've been playing this game for ages, was actually that you can have different cabinets. So in order to do this, you actually have something on your menu that says auto counters, and you can turn this on and off. So if you turn this off and you press on the swatches, you actually get this up here. If it's on, you don't get this come up, but when you press that, it just brings all this up, and this is going to bring up like loads of different style counters for like the one that you're using specifically. So we can do that, and we can move this around. Maybe using it like this, it might be a little bit easier to show you. Like this one has plates and stuff in it, so we can like mesh that in, and we can like decide where that's going to go, and it looks very nice as well. But this actually helps you create more unique looking kitchens. And I just thought that was worth mentioning a little bit, because like I said, I had no idea that this even existed until quite recently, really. Like when I started doing YouTube, I kind of realised that this was how you could like do it. So I wanted to just mention that quickly. The last thing I'm going to mention as well is just quickly about the roofing. So a lot of people struggle with roofing, and I might actually make a video just sort of dedicated to show you guys some tricks with roofs in general. But when you have a roof, there is many things you can do with the roof, and to make it look like a little bit layered and stuff, I usually like put two on top of each other like this. So using like the Alt key and like the just the free movement, we can like layer roofings and stuff. That's what I want to show you guys another time. But I just thought it was worth mentioning that when you're actually decorating with your roof, you can actually move like the sides around. Obviously these are going to make this longer, like it's going to make it come out like that. And these are going to make the edgings come out over like the front instead. This will make it curved if we pull it up like this, or you can make it like go quite funny, like quite dipped in as well with these little toggles here. And we can obviously move it up and down as well. But something that people don't really know is that you can actually move the sides up and down as well. Individually. So if you wanted one side longer than the other, you can just shift click and then you can just pull it like that. So you can have it long on the one side and like short on the other. This helps with like more modern builds and stuff, I believe. Like if you want one side to be touching the floor, I think that that's really useful. So you can have like one side of with your roof really long, and if we just move it again with that shift, it's just going to move it all together. So that was worth noting too, I thought. And like I said, I'm going to go into more detail on building roofs and that sort of thing in another video. I'll just keep it simple for people who have just started to build. So that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope that you guys, if you're new to building, this helped you feel a bit more confident with what you're doing. And I hope that this is going to allow you to create like more diverse builds and make your builds look a little bit nicer or a little bit more alive. I think people struggle with building, and so I wanted to do a little video just to help. I've had a lot of requests about things that I do when I'm building, and like how I've done certain things and how I've layered and like landscaping and all that sort of thing. So I thought I'd put it all into video for you guys to watch and just be able to refer back to. So if you enjoyed this, remember to check out my channel. If you're here for the first time, remember to subscribe, and also I have tons of playlists on my channel about mods, CC, anything to do with The Sims, speed builds, all that sort of thing for you guys to check out. That's all on my channel. And if you like this, give me a thumbs up. I'm going to be doing more tutorials in the future. I think that it's nice to be able to give people some tips to be able to help people in making their builds a little bit more diverse. So yeah, if you enjoyed this, then thank you for watching, and yeah, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.